run us through your view of the Nigerian markets right now.
Well, good morning, Alishia. Yeah, the Nigerian market is going through what we call the gestation period, and people are just holding, some are buying, some are expectant of the results, and some results came in, were not really very as investors expect. Then other results came in that were better off. And both the most driving of the market, the sector that drove the market, that's the banking sector, we've not gotten any result from them yet at the moment. We've gotten a result like from NESU. We got a result from NESU which actually drove the market between Friday and Monday. Then also we had results also from Nigerian Brewery, which brought the market down because it was not it was less than what investors were expecting. And this week is going to be a very defining week in the Nigerian stock exchange, Nigerian stock market, because we are expecting some of these banks to come out with the result. But when you look at the volume of activity traded compared to what has happened last week, you realize that the market actually has a higher volume of almost 174% compared to last week, and the value also have increased. And you can realize through the trend of the volume that people are taking position in banking stock that a result have been expected, like UBA, like Zenith Bank, and like First Bank.
Of course, looking at who's playing in this market, we've got 30% local and 70% foreigners. That's what some of the reports are suggesting. What are you making of that kind of involvement that we're seeing from the two camps? And do you see that foreign investor interest heightening, or are we waiting for that election process to follow through smoothly first?
Well, if the NSE boss is anything to go by, well, what he said last week is anything to go by, that's actually is a confidence to the market that foreign investors will have about 70% of foreign investors coming into Nigerian market in an election year. That gives that shows that we are already moving into political stability. That shows that we may not have a change of government. That's what the foreign investors think. That shows that there's a little bit of relative confidence and optimistic in the Nigerian economy, which is good. But when you say that local investors are just 30%, that shows you that local investors have not yet recovered from what has happened to them for about 2 years. And that means the NSE has a lot to do, mostly the brokerage firm has a lot to do in terms of enlightenment and bringing the local investors into the market. And when you see that trend, you realize that there's both of optimistic and pessimistic move. Because in the optimistic move, it's good that the foreign investors
I'm going to actually interrupt you, Muktar, on that front. It's actually 30% foreign and 70% local. That's what we're reading from some of the reports at this stage.
Okay, but if you look at the report from the NSE, it said 68% foreign, 32% local. Well, let's go with your report. Then it's still
It just shows the divergence of views that are out there at this stage. I mean, from your interaction with the markets, what's your perception in terms of who's playing in this market?
Sincerely speaking, I think the locals are really playing the market. So I wonder where the NSC boss gets his statistic from, because at the moment it's the local investors that are really taking a position, knowing fully where the political terrain in Nigeria, knowing that the way the election is going, there might not be a definite shift in policy, there might not be a definite change in government, there might not be anything that would obstruct the economy. Rather, there will be positives. So the locals are taking position, and mostly these locals that are taking in positions are locals that the high yield investors, sophisticated investors that know what it takes to come to the market at the moment. The foreign investors for now, I think they are a little bit not really sure of the political climate in Nigeria. But with issues happening in the Middle East and seeing oil coming to almost $120 per barrel, I think it's going to urge well for the Nigerian economy in the long run. And I think maybe we start having foreign investors coming in. But when you look at the election timetable, when you look at the voters registration, when you look at the trend politically, when you look at the primaries that have been conducted, when you look at what is happening, you just know that it's only one way the political situation is going, and which will lead to stability.